Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to replace the thermal paste on your graphics card. In today's representation I'm going to be having a decently old card. We are going to be having the FirePro V4 800, and for a somewhat newer graphics card, don't get me wrong, it's not the newest, but it's a bigger card compared to the older ones. It is a RX 570 from MSI, and we're going to be going through a teardown on how to take these apart and how to repaste them and assemble them again. Alright, so first thing you're going to need is a screwdriver with a relatively bigger bit. It's a Phillips bit. I can't show you exactly. My lighting isn't the best, but it does look like this. You should know what a Phillips bit is if you're building computers and whatnot. But it does not really matter what thermal paste you use as long as it's not liquid, really. So let's just get right into it. I got my electric screwdriver, and as you can see here, there is this bracket, and this is the thing holding on the cooler for this card. This is the FirePro V4 800. As you can see, there's a screw here, a screw here, a screw here, and a screw here. So what you want to do is you're going to want to unscrew these 4 screws, and I'll get back to that once they're off. Alright, so I have the mounting bracket off now. Each 4 screws are still on the mounting bracket. They didn't come off or anything like that. And I actually did have to change to a smaller Phillips bit. The medium-sized one was a bit too big for this older GPU, and it just needed a bit of a smaller one, but still came off very, very easily. So now, your main bracket is off on this older card, so now you're going to look for any other screws that might be holding in the cooler. So if you look on the front of the card, you can actually see here that there's a screw right here holding it in, and there is a few more, such as right there and right over here. So what you're going to want to do is to kind of remember where that screw is. You want to go to the back of your card and start taking them off. The extra screws that I need to take off are right here, and right here. Some cards might have them, and some cards might not. This RX 570 right here, I've taken this apart a few times, and this actually just requires you to remove 4 bits for that cooler mounting bracket, and it is very, very easy to take off and put back together. But anyway, getting back with the older one, I'm going to take off these 3 screws, and I will see you guys when I've done so. Alrighty, so I have removed the 3 screws. It was very, very easy, and now all of the screws holding it in, I believe, are off. Actually, nope. There's one more. Let me take that out quick, and keep in mind that this can be done very, very fast. It only takes a couple minutes to repaste your GPU, and so now all the screws are off, and now you need to make sure that you can take this heatsink off without damaging your fan cables if your GPU does have a fan. My GPU cable has a fan right here, so you just give that a snug little pull and it'll come out like that, and then you can slowly and gently start removing your GPU cooler. I would be gentle with this because depending on how old your card is, things could be quite delicate. Some cards can have a little bit more of a rough time coming off, and some might not. They might be able to just pop right off. This old card seems to be having a bit of a hard time. Oh, there we go. As you can see, now we have the cooler off here. These are actually thermal pads, if you didn't know that. And then here's the fan and the back of it, and there is where the thermal paste was on the GPU. So to get these coolers off, if yours has a little bit more difficult time than mine, when they're on there, you kind of just want to wiggle them back and forth a little bit. So say my card's back on there, and like this, I just want to wiggle it like that slowly and try to nudge it up. So once you've gotten that off, you can look for your GPU die. It is usually a big round square like this. There might be some more thermal pads over here and etc. Covering up your RAM dies to help keep them cool. And then, so now that you have your die visible and etc., You want to grab a tissue or some isopropyl alcohol. I'm going to be using a tissue, and you just want to wipe away where the thermal paste was. So just give that a good wipe and take off all the thermal paste. And then what you want to do is you want to do the same thing for the cooler. You want to wipe that. So I'm just going to apologize for my mic getting a little bit quiet. I have a dynamic mic and I'm not too used to it yet. I just got it. And when I move away, it does get a little bit of quieter, and I'm not used to it, so I apologize. But back on top to the video, I have some Arctic MX4 thermal paste here. This is what I'm going to be using to repaste this card, and also my RX 570. So you have your thermal paste. You just want to simply put a little dot on the middle of the GPU die here. Not too much, or not too little, depending on what your die is. Mine is an older card, so it's not too big. So I'm only going to be putting a little bit. And then once you have that, you want to make sure that your cooler here is aligned the exact way you took it off. And then you want to put it on. Once again, make sure that it is aligned correctly. And then you want to give it a little bit of force, and make sure you are doing this on a place where you will not conduct some static electricity. Sorry, had a little bit of a brain moment. You want to give it a little bit of force, and then once you know it's on there and in the right spot, you can go ahead and reconnect your fan header here. And now I have reconnected the fan header, and now we can go back to the back side of the GPU here, and you can start installing the screws on your graphics card that you took off. I'll be right back once they're back on. I wanted to come back real quick and mention, before I do put this main thing back on for the GPU, is that when you're screwing these on, you kind of want to go in a star bit pattern. So once you have them placed, you want to do half, just say, you see this here, and there's 4, right? So you kind of want to do a little pattern. You want to do this one right here, halfway, and then you want to do the one across from it halfway, and then go to the one next to it right here, do that one halfway, and then the very last one, do that one halfway as well, and then go back to your first one and do that one until it's all the way in, go across from it until that one's all the way in, and so forth, so on. This makes sure that there's an even spread and even tightening across the PCB to heatsink, and it's better for your card and more safe. Alright everyone, I am back, and the bracket for the FirePro V4800 is back on, and we are all set. Throw it back in my rig, and it'll be just like brand new. So, I was planning to show you guys how to take apart this modern card, this RX 570, but it appears that one of the screws right here are stripped. I got this from a buddy, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to take this apart, but I will still explain it to you because it is relatively close to this older card as well. So, here we have the same 4 screws. We have a screw right here, a screw right here, a screw right here, and a screw right here. Instead of a mounting bracket like this old one has right here, it is just 4 singular screws holding it in. Once again, there's one right here, one right here, one right here, and one right here. It's kind of just like a square, and that's how these GPUs tend to come, is the screws holding in the heatsink. They will just be in a square like this, depending on what card you have. So, some cards may have a few more screws, so I don't think they should, but they might. So what you want to do is, after you take off these 4, you want to look for a few more around here that could possibly be holding in your heatsink. So check around the edges of your card, and if you don't see anything holding in the card from the edges, just go right ahead and grab your board from the PCB and the heatsink and slowly wiggle it like you did with the first one here. Slowly wiggle it, and eventually it'll pop off, but remember to be careful with these newer cards, because as you can see, there is still cables here that plug into the fans. And I'm sorry I can't get the best brightness here for you, but as you can see right here, there is more cables for your fans. So you want to kind of try to pop it off from the other side. So see, you can see here, my cables are on this side, but I'm going to try to open it from this up here. So when I open it, this top part will spread instead of the part down here, which will make it better for me trying to keep my heat sink next to where the cables can reach. And then once you take the heat sink off, just make sure to unpop those cables and take off that thermal paste for your card. Reapply that thermal paste, put the heat sink back on, and then screw your screws back in, and you are ready to go. While you're doing this, you could also clean out your GPU fans if you'd like. That makes it quite more easier. And if you do clean out your GPU fans, please make sure, if you are using compressed air or anything that blows relatively quickly, you want to hold down your fan and then blow into it, because if you just blow into it, that will cause this fan to spin very quickly and cause charge and buildup of electricity inside your card, which could possibly kill your fan. And of course, you don't want that. So just keep that in mind if you are cleaning your fans. And other than that, that has been today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you'd like to see more, make sure to let me know in the comments. And I appreciate you guys for watching this. Once again, I am sorry I could not take apart the RX 570. I will make another video in the future taking apart my 3060 for you guys, and that will be the replacement for this card, and my apology. So, thank you guys again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to comment down below what you'd like to see next. Tell me what I can improve on, and etc. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.